high school principal here. I just finished, I'm finishing right now my 11th year. So I was here for the entire remodel process, involved in the design. I can answer any of your questions. I'm happy to be here. I love giving tours. I want you to know ahead of time though, that I have a meeting at noon. So we have like less than an hour and I have to leave you alone. I apologize for that. But that should be enough. It usually takes about 40 minutes to give a pretty good tour of the building.
Hey, we'll be thirsty by then.
You'll be thirsty? Well, my meeting lasts until 6. If you're still drinking at 6, you can let me know where you are. I'll come find you. So, I'm not from Sauk or Prairie. I'm from Bloomer, Wisconsin, northern town, north of Eau Claire. But my wife is a Madison native, and we wanted to relocate somewhere near Madison. She works for UW, and that's how you got me. I don't think when I was hired anybody expected me to be here 11 years because there's nowhere in my past that would suggest I would ever stay somewhere that long. My longest previous employment stint was 6 years. I moved around a lot. I'm not planning to move around because I love it here. It's a great school district and we're doing really good things at the high school. So, that being said, we'll get started. You guys are 64, so almost nothing about the building is the same as when you moved in here for 3 months or whatever, when you finally moved in. But I'll try to highlight the things that you might remember from your time here, and I'll also highlight the things that are different. So this is different. This is brand new. When I came here to interview, I went to 3 doors before I found the right one, because I couldn't identify what was the main entrance. If you remember that, the old main entrance was on the side of the building, sort of tucked away and hidden. It was hard to find. And so when I met with the architect for the first time, they said, "What are your goals?" And I said, "My number one goal is I want the main entrance to be visible from space." I wanted people to look at Google Maps and be able to see where the main entrance was so they would know where to go. I think we accomplished that main goal, right? Like, this is super visible. So we'll walk down here. I want to pay attention. This trophy case is special in that in order to get in there, it has to be a first or second place in state, or it has to be old and cool. So the bottom 2 rows are state championships or state runner-ups, and the top row is some of the oldest trophies we have in the school district. And then you'll notice the big red wall. That's the legacy wall. It's not finished yet. Right now it's a map of the 2 communities. It's about a 1973 map-ish. And our plan is to put 5 acrylic panels on it that will have prints of the various high schools in the community. So the far north one will be the Prairie Sauk High School. The far south one will be the Sauk City High School.
Over there. No. Yes.
So this is one of the entrances I came to when I came to interview. So this is the old athletic entrance, which didn't exist at all when you were in school. This was an add-on in '97. And so that's when this gym to my left, your right, was built then. This entrance became the new athletic entrance. And for 30 years, on our left-hand side here were the boys' locker rooms, the team room and the phy ed room. Now they're classrooms. We'll show off a little bit. For fire code, we couldn't have this big a space, so we had to install the largest door in Sauk County. And so this door only closes if there's a fire, because it's on the smoke detector fire alarm system, so it'll close to seal off this giant space so that we don't have uncontrolled fire burning through the concrete. Concrete doesn't burn very well, as a joke. So to your left, we have a health services suite, which is one of our recent innovations. We offer a CNA class here where our students can take it during the day and get certified nursing assistant certification. The first time we offered it, we had 3 students. The second time we offered it, we had 16 students. We have 29 students registered for this coming school year. Typically students who took CNA in high school in the past were students who were going to go into like that might actually be the job they get, and that they would do that for some period of time and maybe move into nursing. That was a pretty defined career path. Now though, almost everybody who wants to work in the medical field has to get patient care hours before they can advance. So people who want to go to medical school, people who want to become licensed nurse practitioners, all of that. So this has really accelerated their ability to get those hours, and it's made a huge difference in their ability to take that college level training here at high school. On the right side of the hallway here, you'll see breakout spaces. These are built in throughout the whole school. Modern education is a lot more collaborative. It ends up taking up more space because you're not one person sitting at a desk. It's a lot of people working together, much like modern workspaces are. So we wanted to build spaces that allow for that. It looks like we've had some summer camp and athletic teams in here, so it's not as clean as I'd like it to be. I can see some Cheetos on the ground over there. We'll have to talk about that. In this remodel, we put in sprinkler systems so that it's fire suppressed. We put in air conditioning, and we put in new lights and a new sound system. So, but otherwise, we'll step in there and you'll recognize it. It looks very similar to what it did when you were here. In front of me is the hallway that I thought was going to get me fired. When you guys were here, that I think was the band and choir room. So if you think about where you are, band and choir room was down there. Then it was converted into girls' locker rooms. And I said that if we're going to make the main entrance down there and have every student come in this way, we have to have a way for them to get to the academic part of the building that's quick and easy, instead of having to go around the gym like you guys had to. And so they put this hallway in. But if you remember, there's seating for 600 people in the gymnasium above this hallway. So the engineering that was required to make this hallway happen was substantial. And in planning, I'm like, I gotta have that hallway. In construction, I was like, oh, that hallway's gonna get me fired. And now that it's finished, I'm like, oh, what a great idea that hallway was.
Street ever. I would know most people. I'm quite honest. Jack Burns company. One that I recognized.
Well, like I said, I hope it looks fairly similar. Just a new painted coat, a new coat of paint. I don't know, when you moved in, was this dividing wall used?
For phy ed sometimes.
For phy ed sometimes? So do you remember what it was? Do you remember what it looked like? It was the largest roll-top desk I've ever seen, right? That's what it was. It was that kind of slotted wooden material that fit together like a roll-top desk. It's not there anymore. They took it out during this construction, and there's a whole bunch of stuff back there. But when I learned that that's what the dividing wall was, I always wanted to talk to somebody who saw it in use. And like, did they actually use this? So that's good to know. Above you are our state championship and state runner-up banners, going all the way back to '68, I think. And then down here are conference titles that we have. And again, they represent this high school, Sauk Prairie High School, so they go back to 64. We don't have numbers up there from before that. But we'll step through this way into the Commons and really experience a place that looks very different from when you were here. So this is the Commons that existed when you were here, changed. The Leahy Theater is behind us. So from the set of columns right here, back that way, it was an enclosed theater with a sloping floor. And we saved the stage, and going all the way back to like 2000, the plan was to try to incorporate that space into the Commons. And we tried multiple times and couldn't get it done. Finally, in this referendum, we did. We took all the walls down, raised this part of the floor up, lowered that part of the floor down. The barrier between them is a set of things that are called social stairs. They're used all the time, mainly by my staff in staff meetings. They like sitting on those instead of on seats. It's a great space for a lecture series or bringing 2 or 3 classes together to hear someone speak. Or at night, it's used all the time for like athletic banquets and things like that. But during the day, it's integrated into our Commons, so it's actually seating for lunch. We had seating for about 380. We had 890 kids and 2 lunches. 390 didn't meet our needs for lunch. This now seats 580, so we could go all the way up to almost 1,200 students without having to do anything different about lunch and lunch seating.
It's totally different.
But now it's also all integrated. So there's audio, video, microphone, presentation screen, speakers in the area. We'll come back to the name of the area in a second. This area has a separate set of speakers and presentation screens on 2 corners. Name gets on top of that because the first name we wanted to call that the Eagle's Nest. And one of our social studies teachers said, you know, that was Hitler's mountain retreat in World War II. Yeah, couldn't do that. And then we wanted to call it the Airie, A-E-R-I-E. And if you Google that, you'll find out that American Eagle's lingerie line comes up when you get Airie. So, can't have that. Oh! In Old English, they spelled Airy that way, so we're going to use that. And the only thing that gets confused with that is a castle in Game of Thrones, so we're fine. Use your tools. Figure out if you can figure it out yourself. And most of them can, if they care enough. All right, we'll step over this way.
I had the right word.
The change in color of the tile is actually the boundary of the old courtyard. So the old courtyard is where the wood tile used to be. It was bigger than that. It actually carried into the library. We expanded the library north. But this, you can see the boundary right here. The second thing I am contractually obligated to say in this space is the double-sided fireplace was purchased with donor dollars and no tax dollars were spent on it. Okay? It's in my contract, I have to mention it. Schwartz Insurance donated the money to make that happen. And the reason it's double-sided is because Oregon High School has a single-sided one. Also, it's awesome. There's a reading nook on the other side in the library. So like kids can actually sit around the fireplace reading, which I'm pretty sure is not something that happens in the wild anymore. It only happens in school. So we're happy to be able to provide that legacy experience for kids. Any questions for me?
How many kids are in the school?
About 860.
860, and you start with 9th grade?
9th grade, yeah. Yeah, and we'll be, right now we're in a period of declining enrollment at the high school level. We're starting to feel the impact of the 2009 financial collapse and the declining birth rates, and then housing costs are just so expensive that families with little kids are having a hard time moving to this community. I'll point out what I think it was awesome, but also a mistake that I need to fix. That's the old main entrance. And we didn't want it to be an entrance anymore, but we wanted it to be egress in case of an emergency or fire or anything like that. And when we opened this space, I looked down that hallway and I said, oh, no. And the person next to me said, what? I'm like, that's a pretty good runway for a car that wants to crash into our building. They can start at the river and just hit the gas and never have to brake all the way into the building. So if you look, you can see that there are some concrete seats that have been set out there as a way to deter that, but also we're going to change the parking in the parking lot so that cars will park there. Because right now it's hashed off because the old main entrance, you didn't want anybody parking in front of it. So we'll fix that so staff will park their cars there. We'll stop that problem from happening. But that's the way, just so you know the way principals think, the first thing I see after I make my mistake is how did I make it not so safe and how can I fix it?
Is that Lincoln Avenue?
Yeah, yeah. Well, 97, you can see it. So we wanted to try to integrate the building so that when you were walking around the building, it felt all new. It felt like it was all done at the same time. So with color schemes and some interior design stuff, we tried to make it seem like the whole building is one building.
The tunnels down below?
The tunnels are down there. Yeah.
By the house, I didn't know where my old locker was. Is it still there? It's right around the corner. I don't know. I can't remember what it was. And besides, I used the gym.
All right. Any questions?
What's hanging in the tree?
It's an art project.
Okay.
You can see that they made wind chimes. Some of them are hanging on the window. Some of them are hanging on the stickers on the windows. Some of them have blown down, and then there's a bunch on the tree. They had maybe battery-powered clocks in the classrooms and in the halls. Now, like, it's a building this size and trying to handle the logistics with clocks that are at different times throughout the whole building is not ideal. I'm super excited about the clocks because they're all wired to each other and they're connected to the atomic clock in Denver. So the time is exactly correct in every room and on every clock in the hallways. Nobody else cares about that, but it matters a lot to me. Now, they have a different locking mechanism and they have a window that most of the other classrooms didn't have windows in the doors. But other than that, this hallway is the same. I looked once at a 1964 organization of the building, and if that was correct, down that way on the outside of the building was math, and down this way, I believe, was social studies and maybe some world language classes, like Spanish or something. But we're gonna go down to that next intersection under the exit lights. If you want to just take a minute to look in classrooms here. Kind of meander your way down there. We'll meet again at the other end of that corner. Hallway on the left-hand side, you can look in. Those windows there give you a look into. It's a biology classroom now. In the meantime, I think it went from autos to art and now biology, and you can see that it looks a lot different than it did when it was an auto shop. On the right, then you can get pretty good look into the metals advanced manufacturing lab, and so that lab has some legacy tools like drill presses and old mechanical routers, but it also has modern tools run by CNC computer navigated controlling. Yeah, and so you can see both. You can see like modern manufacturing and legacy manufacturing in that same space, and that's on purpose because our business partners tell us that it's a mistake to get kids working right on a CNC router if they don't understand how a router works. So they work on the old mechanical router first and then learn the computer programming necessary to work with the CNC router. And so that's part of the progression for them learning those things because that's what industry, like having somebody who just knows computers and doesn't understand how a router works isn't good for us. So we've kept both parts of our programming. So I would just encourage you to walk down that way. Do we want to talk about the athletic facilities? Sure. Because we can poke our head out this door and I can just show everybody that and then we can come back inside. Let's do that. I've seen pictures. None of this was here. I don't know where you did sports. Chuck Hall, maybe, right? Because there's no football field here. Even in, I have an aerial photograph of the campus from 1971. There's no football field here. There's no track yet. But when it was built, it was built right here, basically. That pool, we had to move it south so that we could create enough room for the pool. So that's why it ended up going south. That was the best place for the pool, but we couldn't fit the pool and parking and the facility and the lights for it and this access road between the pool and the corner. So we moved it south to give us a little bit of space. You can tell that they sort of overlap a little bit. The goalposts are not backwards. They rotate out of the way on purpose for soccer so that they're not in the way of the soccer goal. The seating capacity is 2,049. Fire department will not let me say it's 250 because it's 249. On the back side, there are 6 1,000 square feet storage units underneath the bleachers, so that really helped us out with storage. Current field turf, and again, I got a laugh out of the Oregon line, so I'll tell you this also. The eagle head in the center of the field is 20 yards wide because Wanakee's W is 10 yards wide. So I just want you to know that yes, I'm that petty.
I'm from Wanakee, sorry.
I'm sorry, I just want you to know. They said, how big do you want the eagle? I said, how big is Wanakee's W? They said, it's 10 yards wide. I said, go 20. Literally, that was the conversation.
Bigger and better.
We'll show up at Wanakee next year. It'll be a 30-yard wide W. Down there and see all the corroded equipment that was there from getting flooded year after year. We hauled in 10,000 yards of sand and gravel that came from the excavation of the new pool to fill the old pool. The old pool basin is still under there. Half of it now is a wrestling multi-purpose room, the other half is a cardio room, and then the offices are the weight room. So everybody wants to see the pool before we end, so I want to make sure we get down there to see the new pool. But you can look into the weight room over here. I'll walk through there and turn the lights on so you can see what that looks like.
Are you going to upload the video for an accessible place?
Some of those over there. Yeah. I've never get to the bottom one. I've never get to the top.
That used to be under the zone factor above the gym.
Yeah.
Last time I think good for the
Community pool. The temperature in there is kept in the high 80s.
We had
So it actually has your entry, it has an area like the play features for little kids, and then it basically has like a large hotel pool that's about 4 feet depth on the cross. And that whole area will be during the day and at night, like community events, but also for
Anyway,
things
you were
like
there. I know
senior
that.
water
I
receipts,
don't know.
really good swim lessons. Because the water
Ernie, was
temperature is
Ernie
higher,
here? Ernie
and it's just more comfortable.
Okay.
And then
Ernie worked. Ernie
time, and then it's an 8-lane pool. Kids like me to say that the starting standards are the same ones the Badgers use in the Badgers pool. So they think that's pretty cool. They were donated as well. A lot of community support here, but this went first, and they got more money than I did. No. Per square foot. This complex cost about $10 million with the 2 pools, and we are the sectional site for both girls and boys swimming now. And I don't think we'll lose it until someone builds a better pool, mainly because we have 2. So that for a competitive event like sectionals, they like to have a cool down warm up area, and they can't do that in most pools. But we can do it because we have the second pool. We're almost done, everybody.
now know why you're never going to get one of these.
One of my pictures. Okay? So if you want my picture, stand next to me.
Hey, Chad, I got a question.
Yes.
I presume you're pretty forward thinking.
I'm trying to be.
So don't you think when they consolidated the schools, they should have consolidated the communities?
You really, wait a minute. Now, in addition to being forward thinking, I'm also a high school principal, which means I'm basically a politician. Am I going to answer that question?
What's the time?
Why we don't let him ask questions?
How are you?
I want to know where the Sauk fire department.
That's also a Jenny.
Never gonna consolidate it all.
I don't. See, I don't have to be. See?
All right.
You didn't mind.
No.
Thanks for coming.
I got it.
Oh, boy.
More this way? Yeah. Okay. So that you're in the middle of the Prairie.
You're looking at your picture.
I didn't win the vote.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we get all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, they could take him.
Thank you for organizing that. Oh, you're welcome. Good.
We still know how to do that. Upside down. You can't get me from upside down.
Yeah, that's in Northeast. See, I'm in Northeast too. I'm close to it, so I walk that.
Allie, we're going to be on camera here. High level conversation.
How you doing there?
Al, are you in the major leagues yet or not?
I'm working at it. So, however, right now we just got finally at 75. I got to reach the major league dream. We played at JetBlue Stadium, the home of the Boston Red Sox. I pitched against Sacramento, California. We beat them 7-2.
When was that?
That was when I was 76, I guess, 2 years ago. And then 5 days later, we played the San Diego Padres. We played them and beat them for the championship 7-2. So I was playing for Minnesota. So it's a lot of baseball, a lot of softball.
Well, listen, I'll talk to you some more, but I gotta go finish eating. I have my plate over there.
Johnny, you got anything smart to say?
Yeah, you're looking good today. That was a mistake.
You had to say that to the camera.
I'd like to start out by just thanking the committee. I'd like to name them off, and if they want to stand or whatever, where did I put the notes? Here we go. Jackie Reva Tarnitzer was on the committee with us. Hold your applause until afterwards. Don Ballwig, Chris Beth Parcham, Jack Barrett, Viola Schwartz Hosking, Linda Peterson Wiedenfield, Jackie Colby Barnhill, and Judy Bell Zeman, Marilyn Denver Horseman, Jerry Hamilton Youssef, and Dick Nolden, and I guess I'm on it too. So. Thank you so much for coming. This place here, we were looking for a place, and I think it's meeting our needs very nicely. It's on the level, which is good for all of us, I think. But glad to see you all here, and I hope you all get around and talk to everybody and look like everybody is doing just that. And don't be afraid to get seconds. There's all kinds of food.
It's been a wonderful turnout. We're glad you all showed up.
We also have a special guest here. Well, we're all special, but there's somebody from Madrid here, Celso, who is the first foreign exchange student ever at the Sauk Prairie history, as far as I know.
That's me. Holy cow! I didn't recognize you.
Celso, if you have a few words you just want to say to us?
Well, the only thing I can say is it's so nice that my feelings are all really grown up. By being here with all of you, I have so many of you that really were very attached to me, that all of you made me a great year. I always found kindness and even love, you know, and everything was so good. It made a tremendous difference for my life. Being here was a breaking point, I would say, you know, in many senses. And only I can say is that I'm so grateful, you know, that the South City community offered me this scholarship to come over, you know, because they supported part of it. And the wonderful Whitenbach family gave me, you know, hosting for the entire year, which was quite a task for them, I suppose. And now I've been constantly in touch, thanks to Jerry Lou Hamilton most of the times, you know, being in contact. I came on the 25th, if some of you remember. Couldn't make it on the 50th, so I thought, why not the 60th? The next one, who knows? How many were going to be, or if I can come.
Yeah.
But yes, it's been wonderful to meet you again. I've got a lot of surprises, you know. People that has changed so much to the better. Much better. And one thing that you can feel, not knowing many of you, you know, for a number of years, that this is, we are now even nicer and more open, and more, I would say more sincere, if you want to say it. You know, it's really touching. It's touching in many senses. It's really good. Some of the faces I couldn't recognize at all, of course. But tell me if you do. But please tell me if you recognize yourselves. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yes, I could recognize you. But so many names and so many memories, and so important to me. Really, I want to say thank you very much to all of you, because you made me a special, very, very special. Thank you.
We enjoyed having you as our first short Cornish State student, so thank you so much for coming, putting in effort. So
Yes.
thank you very
Well,
much.
I don't know if you know, but I came with what is called American Field Service. American Field Service, we were like 2,700 students all over the United States. Even 67 Spaniards like me, flying from Madrid in an airplane. And that is supported because a lot of endowment that organization got from, I don't know, different institutions in the United States, but also because of the local support. And of course, the school that gave me a room to be in, I mean, in a way, the school is obliged if you're living with a family, but it's true that they gave me everything and they supported me extraordinarily well. So that's all. I don't want to talk. I have been talking for ages. Thank you.
There's a booklet for that Linda Whedonfield made up. It's back on that counter. We'd like, if you want one, you're free to take, and we'd like a little donation of $5 or maybe a little more, or whatever you feel comfortable with. But there's how many, 80 of them, or?
I made 70.
There's 70 of them there, so there should be enough for one for whoever needs one. But anyway, she did a wonderful job on there, and you can recognize yourself on there for sure. Let's see. And she also made our album of all the deceased members of our class. She's got them in the order that they passed away. And if somebody knows of somebody that is not on that list, let us know, because we may have missed one, but as far as we know, we've got everyone on there. But she made a list. There's pictures of all of them on there, plus there's an album with their obituaries in there, so it's a wonderful thing. So thank you, Linda. It's great. And she made all the name tags. As you can tell, I bring up Linda's name a lot. She did most of the stuff here. But everybody, if anybody wants to join us, we'd be happy to have you on the committee. It's like three or four reunions. We get together, just have a short meeting, and then we have a little lunch afterwards. So if anybody feels so obliged, join us. Let's see. Talking about our departed classmates, we could just take a minute and just have a moment of silence and just say a little prayer, whatever you can do. Thank you. There's also a list of, I guess I didn't count out, of all the veterans that from our class that were served in the armed forces. There's a list on the table there. You can look at that and look at that if you like. But class union. Also want to say thank you to Jack Barron. I don't know if a lot of you people maybe looked on your YouTube or on Facebook, and thank you for all for sending in things. But Jack has done a wonderful job of keeping the things up to date and posting things. So thank you, Jack, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Well done, Fritz.
Jack,
I'm going to get clapping. Is there anybody here from the Prairie to Sauk Fire Department? I just want to say thank you for the use of this facility. It's really a wonderful place to have it for us. It works out wonderfully. So we'll have to send him a thank you, and we're giving him a little stipend from our donations and stuff. So, is there anybody that wants to share a little story or something? Okay, Jerry, take the stage.
After a prayer, I don't know if I should share this story. It's just something I read the other day.
It's kind of racist, so you gotta be careful.
My goodness.
Okay, to impress a woman, you compliment her, cuddle her, kiss her, caress her, love her, stroke her, tease her, comfort her, protect her, hug her and hold her, spend money on her, wine and dine her, buy things for her, listen to her, care for her, stand by her, support her, go to the ends of the earth for her. How to impress a man? Show up naked and bring beer.
Anybody top that story?
I'm not from the class of how many men are gonna go home and do that.
There isn't anything much else I got here. I just want everybody to enjoy the afternoon. I just wanted to say thanks to all the people that have come, and everybody just enjoy the afternoon. I don't think there's any special time we have to be out of here, so stay as long as you want and enjoy the day. I don't know if there was talk about singing a song, but I don't know if that's part of the program or not.
Maybe you have to have a few beers first.
We gotta have you sing.
What's that?
We got to have you sing.
Well, that's...
Bob will sing too.
Bye-bye, carefreeness. Hello, hatiness. I think I'm gonna die. Bye-bye, work. Bye-bye, dreadful days. Hello, leisure days. I think that I'll retire. 'Cause I'm no more for hire. When I was senior, back in '64, couldn't wait to graduate, get out of the door. 4 years later, I know it's true. Those years were golden for me and you.
Just kind of, we're in the wrong.
Bye-bye, youthful shape. Hello, hearing aids. I think I'm falling apart. Bye-bye, hair. Bye-bye, youthful wings.
We are awkward.
Let's just do it without that thing.
Okay. We were on the chorus when there was supposed to be the melody.
That would drive me crazy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Number 3.
Okay, bye-bye. Wait till the
Bye-bye, teeth. Bye-bye, youthful shape. Hello, hearing aids. I think I'm falling apart. Bye-bye, hair. Bye-bye, youthful grins. Hello, double chins. I think I'm getting old. Just look, I'm starting to mold. There goes my body. It's sure to say, instead of honey, I now go back. And here's the reason that I'm so frail. Instead of beer now, it's ginger ale. Bye-bye years. Bye-bye carefulness. Hello, achingess. I think I'm gonna die. Bye-bye work.
I hate this song.
Bye-bye little days. Hello, leisure days. I think I'm retired. Bye-bye, no more for hire. There goes my dark hair. Here comes the rain. I need my glasses to read these things. And what's the reason that I'm so blue? These years since high school should give a clue. Bye-bye teeth. Bye-bye youthful shape. Hello hearing aids. I
look and started to mold. Just look and started to
Now you go back to the Thank
stand and talk to her, and we had a great place for the rest of the
He plays baseball and he switches to basketball. The other night, he's good news and bad news. He's pretty good player. But he was a good team player. But the other night, he played like very deep heart with the rest of the team. But anyway, negotiation keep 28.
Here we go.
Thumbs up. You did a good job.
Let us know when you're ready.
Yeah, are we done yet?
Oh, no. I know I left my best shot. My other side.
Terry.
Are you ready to get up now?
Yeah, I am. Are you done?
I'm coming.
Thank you. There, we need another man.
Hang on. Go ahead.
Wait, another leg. That's the latest. That's all. I had two of these. All right. Oh, I don't know. You guys. Hey, girls. I already did it many times.
Thank you, Marilyn. You're a good friend. You're a trooper. Truly a trooper.
Hey. All right, cold beer, free beer, warm beer.
A lot. Well, how many tables?